know what? I'm gonna just in case you fuck this up again.
Voice of the hero. Voice of the hero.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Voice of the Heroes podcast, episode 1. And we got an amazing interview with Michael Swalby, the voice actor, dubbed actor of Mr. Kawaki himself. And I have amazing co-hosts for y'all. We got Michelangelo in the building, HD2K, and Sixer. We're going to have a blast today, man. HD2K, let them know where they can find you at.
YouTube at HD2K or on Twitter, HD2KX on Instagram as well. Just check me out there. And most of the time, I'm just posting about random stuff, mostly Shinobi Strikers, complaining about Kawaki and his voice actor and stuff like that.
All right, Michelangelo, let them know where they can find you at.
My name is Michelangelo. YouTube name is practically the same as well, Michelangelo. You can find me on Twitter at Michelangelo41. I'm also on Instagram as well. And yeah, it's pretty much my socials, I'd say.
Great. Sixer, where can they find you at on social media?
Y'all can find me at twitch.tv/Sixer. I'm been streaming on Twitch for 4 years. Same as YouTube Sixer, at Mike Sixer on Twitter. That's all my socials.
And these will be the Voice of the Heroes for today. And we have a special guest with us, Mr. Michael Swalby. How are you doing today, my guy?
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me on. This is special occasions, my first interview as the dub actor for Kawaki.
Woo! Let's get it. Round of applause for that right there, man. We're going to be sitting here for the next half an hour interviewing Mr. Michael Swalby. If you like the video, please don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And all links will be in the description below, so you can go check HD2K, Sixer, or Michelangelo out on all of their social medias. And let's get it.
Hi, Michael. Glad to meet you. It is an honor. Before I get into my questions, I was checking your, behind the voices, work and everything. And I saw that you also dubbed one of my favorite weapons in Devil May Cry, which is also one of my favorite games, Balrog, which is so awesome. So I just wanted to, congratulate you on that. It's one of my favorite video games of all time. And if they do make a, 6 or anything, I would love to hear you again as Balrog.
Call me, Capcom.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was my first AAA. That was my first AAA game, and it was pretty cool because the director for the session was Liam O'Brien from Critical Role, and I had no idea who he was. So I flew out to LA because I wasn't living there yet for the session, and I didn't know what game it was, what character I was doing until I got to the studio and walked into the booth and was putting the headphones on. And I was like, so what are we even doing? And they're like, oh, you're going to be in Devil May Cry 5 and your character is Balrog. And I was like, oh,
that must have been amazing.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. It's all my favorite weapons. I just love the way, the 3, 2, 1, it's so cool.
Well, they didn't, I recorded 10 times as much dialogue and they cut it all out.
What?
Yeah, I only about 10% of what I recorded made it in the game. Originally there was like all the attack names, and when he's like, I'm heating up and stuff like that was originally all Balrog, but they cut it all out.
Oh man, I honestly, if they do make a 6, I'd honestly love for them to include the stuff they cut, man. I'd love to hear it. Absolutely. So my first question for you, first of all, congratulations on the role of Kawaki. You're such a fan favorite. My first question for you is what was the audition process for you, to join Boruto exactly? And did you read another parts, or were you just selected for the role of Kawaki, or, did you specifically audition for Kawaki specifically? And, did you watch any of the Japanese dub for preparation or anything like that?
Yeah, sure. So, that was 3 questions, so I'm like, okay. Sorry. Audition process. The audition process. Yeah, basically, auditions normally work I just get daily emails from my agents about just commercials or anime or whatever it is that I'm working on, and voice actors have to do between, if you're really crushing it, 35, and if you're really not, 100 auditions per new job that you book. So we're grinding auditions constantly. I do between 5 and 10 pretty much every day. And so back in April of last year, I got this. I had just started really trying to focus on anime, mostly because I wanted more social media followers, and
wow.
Because it pays really badly. And I had grown up like loving anime. I had like 100-something manga in my bedroom, like in high school. So I was a big nerd in that regard. And so you contributing to that kind of media for the next generation of fans is really cool. So I had started focusing on anime, and then I got this audition one day that was Kawaki in Boruto, just only Kawaki. Normally they send you a whole packet of like, here's 10 different roles for like a new thing. But now that I know more about the series, there's not many new characters showing up like in this arc or anything. So anyway, they sent me the audition. It was a voice match audition, which is also kind of unusual for anime. And normally that you're just kind of creating the voice based on what the Japanese actor sounds like. Well, they had that first clip from the first episode, and they wanted me to voice match it. And so I did, and I sent it in, and then a couple weeks later, it was like, hey, great news, you've got a call back for Kawaki. I was like, oh, cool. They want you to make him a little younger sounding, and then they had some extra dialogue from another scene that they wanted you to do a bigger audition. I was like, okay, sure. So I sent that in, and then I didn't hear anything for 5 months. Wow. And then in September, I got the email that, congratulations, you're being booked for Kawaki, and then we also want to schedule you for Shinobi Striker. That was the first thing we recorded like right away, and yeah, the rest is history.
That's amazing. Oh, congratulations once again.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah, it's been really exciting. And then you did ask if after I got the booking, I promptly went and watched every single Japanese episode of the Kawaki arc. At least once or twice, because I really wanted to dive into the character and his emotion and the background and to hear what the Japanese actor is doing, because that informs a lot of our performance.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. I cannot loved your performance so far in the game. You sound really great and everything. So, naturally they picked a really great one.
Well, I didn't love how the game turned out, honestly. It's fine, but because it was like right away the very first thing we did, it was also a different director than we were doing for the show itself. So we were still kind of trying to figure out what we wanted to do for his voice. And then it was a little harder also because the game dialogue, there's no narrative, it's all like kind of single, no context lines delivered all by themselves. So it's a little tough to put a lot of emotional connection into that. And so I feel like the game is, again, it's fine, but it's a little safe, a little middle of the road. So
you don't have
we need more edge to it, I think. But I think the show's going to be a lot better. So
cannot wait.
You'll dig what we're putting down.
Oh, awesome. My second question for you is, what do you feel is the biggest misconception about being a voice actor, and what would you tell yourself when you first thought about trying this as a profession?
Man, that's a good question. Biggest misconception is probably everybody thinks it's like this great dream job and you just get to go like talk in your PJs for a living, but like the reality is that you're unemployed like 95% of the time, because most jobs, anime is a little different because especially if you get in a show, you get like weekly sessions maybe out of it, but usually if it's like commercial work or corporate stuff or a video game, you do like one session for a couple hours and then you get a decent paycheck out of it, but then you don't get anything from that person probably for quite a while, if ever. So then you've just got to still be grinding this totally unpaid work with the auditions, hoping that one of those is going to land. So it makes it really hard to budget or like know what, how to what your expenses are going to be. And so that's a big misconception is the consistency. I guess it's a lot harder than people think it is to be competitive and to keep booking work. And what I would tell myself if I could go back and give myself some advice is, I did most things pretty good. So I would say probably focus on earlier focus on adding more tools to your toolbox, because I was trying to like find a niche and focus in on something that could be like my sound, where what I've really found a lot of success in is just being able to do a lot of different things pretty well. Like I do audiobooks, and I do anime, and I do corporate training, narration. I mean, it's all over the place. So if you're at Firehouse Subs, little do you know that Kawaki is telling you how to use the steamer for the sandwiches.
But diversity is important, and that's absolutely incredible.
In a lot of ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dang. Did you think you would get the role of Kawaki?
I do, like, I think that it's somewhere now around 1,800 to 2,000 auditions a year. So I send it and I immediately forget that like it's
really? Okay. Yeah. So many.
So yeah,
like, it kind of just blew over your head.
Well, and I probably, had I any idea how big of a deal he was, I probably would have like thought about it a little more. But like I didn't know that he was like this important and to the fans and the show until after I got him. And then I went to YouTube, you know, and I'm like, let's see what this dude's all about. And like the fight with Kawaki and Garo comes up, and it's got like 8 million views. And I was like, oh, what? Oh, okay. He's a big deal. Got it. So yeah, that was fun.
For my next question, what is your favorite line from the show, and can you do it?
My favorite line from the show, I probably can't do it because it's not publicly released yet. But I would say, I mean, that moment when he looks into Garo's eyes and he's like, "Your breath stinks, pig." Like, that is so sick. And that's, I think the English changed the translation a little, so I can't remember if that's what we actually said. But that moment to me is just so crucial to his character of like, this dude has been traumatized so much that he is like, somebody can be literally crying and begging for mercy in front of him and he will just axe him. So like, yeah, just completely disassociated, which then makes it so much more impactful when he's like getting these moments of humanity with the taiyaki and the ramen with Naruto and like all that stuff. So if you want me to do a line, because it's not me doing the line, I could probably do, if I recall how it goes, I could probably do the lines from the first episode.
That'd be great.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
And see if I can. Because I had to voice match it for my audition, so this is basically like just doing my audition. There's nothing non-disclosure about that. All right, let's see if I can remember the lines. I'm pretty sure it goes something like, "I'm going to send you to the same place I sent the 7th Hokage, Boruto."
Woohoo! That was fire.
The age of shinobi is over.
That was great. Wow.
That was fire.
Playboy thought it was over. He interrupted.
I ain't even going front, bro. Just that one part was fire, though. Imagine Kawaki saying that, bro.
Goodness gracious, I'm getting the ghosty wavesies.
Bro, that's my favorite anime character right now, man. I get the chills, bro. I hear something like that. You know what I'm saying? But
I got to do shout out the original guy that did that, Chris Nyosi. He is a great actor. Recasts happen. Everybody in this business has been on both sides of a recast if they've been doing it long enough. It always sucks for both sides because I hate knowing that I took a role from somebody, but I didn't. They took it from them, you know. So I couldn't speculate on why it happened. I'm just going to try to do the role justice and do a good job. So,
Mr. Michael, I'm a huge fan. I like all your tweets. I want to know the difference.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I love everything you do. Yeah, you do, and I love it. We're pretty similar in that way. So you do a lot of video game dubbing. For example, you've done Hyper Jam, Wildcard, Smugglers of Sign. I don't even know how to say that. And you've done Shinobi Striker, which everybody in this party has played or been a part of or seen at least. So I'm curious, because we've talked about it previously, what is the major difference other than not putting your emotion in there? What is the process and how is it different from doing a video game versus like doing the anime?
Yeah, that's a really good question. You mentioned video game dubbing, so just as a quick clarification, there are games that are like from South Korea or Japan or whatever that we are dubbing the game, and then there are games that aren't dubs where you're just you're like you're laying it down before it's animated. So both of those are going to function differently too. The dubbed games are more similar to an anime because you're still, you got a cinematic or you're listening to the Korean or the Japanese and then you're dubbing over that character versus a game like, Half-Life Alyx, for instance, where there wasn't a dub beforehand. They just brought me in and had me do those lines wild. So, and then they just stick those into the game. So, video games in general, though, are going to be more grounded. They're a more cinematic kind of art form, if you will, than something like anime, which is characterized by just really over-the-top emotional delivery most of the time. So the joke might be like, it's not a joke. If I was going to give an example of the difference, it could be, what's a stereotypical anime line? Like, no, you don't understand. He took everything from me. Okay, so if it was in a video game or an anime, we'll do anime first. Sorry, I'm all over the place. We do anime first, it would be like, no, you don't understand. He took everything from me. Like really big beats. Whereas video game might be like, no, you don't understand. He took everything from me. And like just real, like straightforward, grounded, and real, because that's probably how a real person would say it versus that. So that's kind of, you got to flip the dials in your head a little bit to think, okay, what's the audience? What's the rest of the game like? And what's going to fit appropriately with that. So that's kind of what I think about.
You weren't always a voice actor. So what started you on that path and how did you get from where you started to you are now?
I've had a rather adventurous journey, I guess. So it took me a while to figure out like what I wanted to do. I'm about to turn 34, so I'm old. All you Gen Zers watching. I originally wanted to. The first thing I seriously wanted to pursue was music, and so I thought I was going to be a drummer. Decided I wanted to pursue music business, and so I got my degree in music business, was in Nashville, was like working at a major record label, was trying to get connections for my band and like playing shows and doing a lot of singing and stuff, was singing in several different groups. But this was like 2008 to 2012 era-ish, and if any of you have any sort of affiliation with music biz, you know that was like the most dire, bleak times for the music business like ever, where from 96 till then, the revenue went from 20 billion a year down to 4.5 billion a year for the whole music industry combined. And so, yeah, right. And so I was on Music Row watching all these record labels going out of business and all these recording studios going under. And my band wasn't making any money because CDs were out. Streaming had kind of started being a thing, but it wasn't making much money. And so there's just no money. Whereas now it's back up to about 10 billion because vinyl is a big thing again. And streaming is so ubiquitous that like it's generating money again. So things are better now. But anyway, back at then, it was bad. So I was like, what can I do with my voice that I could do for money while I'm trying to like tour and do stuff with my band? And so one of the producers at the record label one day was like, hey, do you want to do this narration for this video for one of our artists? And I was like, okay, sure. Then it was like, do you want to do the company phone system? Okay, cool. Well, then eventually it was like, hey, do you want to do Blake Shelton's CMA promotion campaign? And I was like, hold on, are you going to pay me? And they were like, well, no, you're on the payroll. And I was like, I'm on the payroll across the street at like an affiliated label. You're in artist creative media at the country label. Like that's not the same payroll. So, but that was like God telling me, if you're good enough for Blake, oh, hold on. If you're good enough for Blake Shelton, you're good enough for anybody. And I was like, you know what, God, you're right. So I sold my 47,000 card Magic the Gathering collection, and I saved up a bunch of money and quit my job, supremely convinced that this was my calling for my life, and then I never proved myself or God wrong.
I'm also from Tennessee. I don't know if you're directly from there, but I live in Knoxville, which is like 2 hours away. And
I'm originally from nowhere, Illinois, but I went to Belmont in Nashville. And
hey, that's a prestigious school.
Yeah, it's a lot different now than it was. It was like a quarter of the size then.
Oh, really?
It was still a nice school, but it's gotten like twice
high money. That's expensive. My final question is, what does it take? I mean, we've kind of talked about it, but for somebody that wants to start out, because you kind of had a different path than some people. Some people don't get that opportunity and aren't already in that space where there's already music or voice actors, or you already have agents around you. So how do you start that process of becoming a voice actor or a voice actress?
Sure. While having that Blake Shelton credit did give me a little credibility, they didn't pay me. And so I was really starting from ground zero, even though I had some singing experience. So, and definitely some privilege helping me out. That it can be tough, and I know exactly what it feels like to have to just pound the phones and emails and try to dig up my own work, because I didn't have an agent for years before I finally got one. But there's more opportunities now than there ever have been. There's a really great Discord server called the Voice Acting Club, and I wish it had existed when I was starting out. It's got tons of great guides and free resources, and some really good casting calls wind up there that, if people share something on Twitter or other websites, the members all funnel them to this Discord channel. So I've booked several $1,000s in work from there, which, your mileage may vary. I've been doing this a while, but the jobs are there. So it's a really great place. You might even run into me. But Voice Acting Club is really cool. That would be my first recommendation. It's focused more on character, kind of anime, video game kind of acting. If you're doing the corporate or you want to do commercial stuff, there's a lot of casting sites that like voices.com and voice123 that you can check out. But those are also, it's really competitive right now, because especially after the pandemic, a lot of people lost their jobs or quit their jobs because they were getting exploited. So a lot of people went out and were like, now's my time. I'm going to be a voice actor. So there's just more competition than ever.
Hey, Michael, welcome to the Voice of the Heroes. And my first question for you, right? Kawaki has a lot of depth to him. He has a lot of really emotional backstory to him with his father and things like that. Where did you get the energy from, or where did you pull that out of to bring that to life in the anime?
That's a really great question. And it isn't easy because a lot of I'm also the voice of young Kawaki. That's probably hard to believe, but I am. And those sessions have been some of the most emotionally brutal things I've ever had to record. And for any emotionally connected performance, you're trying to pull from your own lived experiences as much as you can. And that's why you may have heard really good actors often call themselves students of life. And so that's what I try to be, is just in every experience, good and bad, is like find the emotional connection and like what part of that has impacted my life. So like I never got beat or like, bullied quite to the extent that Kawaki did. But I had periods in my life where I had no friends, and like I got death threats when I was in grade school. I had to switch schools because I was bullied so badly. And so like I had some stuff like that was really difficult for me. And so trying to pull from those experiences, and then just even like, So if I can imagine what that was like for me back then, how much worse must it feel for this kid now, and just that utter hopelessness. And so trying to funnel that in, I think, is where a lot of that connection comes from. And then similarly, after going through that, I've struggled a lot with that kind of emotional disassociation where you had a lot of trauma when you were growing up, and that ends up making you like, not necessarily you can't feel anything, but you're looking at it almost from like a third person perspective. Like Kalaki's emotions are kind of an inconvenience for him, really, in a lot of things, aside from frustration and anger. And so I definitely empathize with that. So I think that I pull from that a lot as well. And I just think that with all, you know, between studying what the Japanese is doing and what the animation is telling me about, like the actions and the physicality for them, my experiences growing up together, I think we made it a really layered, nuanced performance.
If you're not following him on Twitter, follow him at What He Said VO. And recently you just posted a Funko Pop of Kawaki. What type of feeling was that to actually see you being the voice actor of this great character?
I got him right here, my boy.
Woo! That thing is pretty right there.
We love to see it. Amazing.
Love to see it.
I figured that it was coming. I'm trying to think what the first merch. I think the first ever thing that I had merch of. I've got my little shrine to myself, like right here is all my characters and stuff. And so I got
that's dope.
I think probably the coolest one.
Because you were also in a Transformer character.
Yeah,
right?
and I got my double dealer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's what's up.
So you got to do research on my man. He's everywhere.
Yeah, look at that. I appreciate that.
War
yeah.
Cybertron? That's amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, I'm double dealer in War for Cybertron, and so he sounds again very different because, you know, when you're a 60-foot robot and there are no heroes up here or whatever it is.
I gotta put a little bass in there.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So, well, I wasn't even going to buy Double Dealer because he was pretty expensive, and my session fee for Transformers was like dirt. And so I was like, I'm not going to spend a quarter of my session fee on a toy. And then my friend surprised me with him, so that was great. So anyway, I know I'm a little off topic here, but I knew that Kaliki was going to have a Funko, and I was just kind of like looking forward to it. I didn't have any Funkos of anybody, and so it's always kind of been a bucket list thing. And then when Funko put out this thing of like the new Boruto Funkos, Pops, I don't know what they're called, and the Kaliki got 2 of them. He got like the normal, like the basic one, and then there's like a limited edition glow in the dark one with like a glow in the dark Karma. So cool. And but you can apparently only get that at Hot Topic or something. So I need to go.
Nobody trying to go to Hot Topic.
So yeah, I need to go track those down. Anyway. I was kind of idly looking around for them whenever I would go to a nerd store, but just didn't find them. And so then finally, last weekend, I was at the Level Up Expo, a big anime convention here in Vegas, and just kind of seeing what was out there, mostly buying cute things for my wife. And then I see at one of these like Funko stands, there he was, and it was like, ah, it's real. Let's go. And so I was like waltzed over and I was like, hey, this is a maybe unusual question for you, but could you give me a discount on this Funko or something? Or can I sign a couple of them for you because I'm this character's actor? And he was like, what? And I was like, I'm the voice of Kaliki, like this guy. And he was like, no shit. I'll give it to you for $5, man. And I was like, let's go.
Wow. Did he make you sign anything or?
No, he didn't. Yeah, but he was like, and here, talk to the owner guy. And so he called the owner over and was like, this is the actor for Kaliki. He said he'd be willing to do signings or something. And guy was like, oh, cool. Yeah, I organize signings all the time. Here, my card. Let me get your email and like we'll work something out and we can do like a a signing of some sort, or the next time we do a group signing. And I was like, bet. So it was pretty cool, and that was my first Funko Pop. So now I got him hanging out with my other kids, getting. Oh, let's see. Is this gonna mess up my camera? Okay, hold on. Got him next to Weenie Worm and Scoopy Banoopy from Bug Snacks and my other stuff. So he's got a place of honor.
Love it.
That's great, man. I can't wait to see more characters end up on that trophy case. My question, that leads into my next question. If you could voice anybody out right now in any anime, cartoon, video game, give me 3 characters that would be like a dream come true.
Normally when people ask me like what's a dream role, I kind of think like whatever is going to be like mine, you know, something that's brand new that I don't know that becomes the fan favorite. But if I had to pick some that were already out that were like iconic roles, I don't care how much of a basic bitch it makes me. I would kill to be the voice of Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII.
That would be the sickest. That's one of my. I'm sorry, I just geeked out when you said that because Final Fantasy is 7 specifically is my favorite, and Sephiroth, favorite villain.
That would be. I would probably just retire. If I completed it. Like, there's nothing further that I can do.
He's absolutely good. He has one of the best theme songs ever as well.
Oh my god! I sang in Video Games Live a couple times, and we did the One Winged Angel performance live a couple times. So anyway, Sephiroth would be top of the list.
Amazing.
It would be pretty cool to be like the voice of like Coors Banquet beer or something, like take a job from Sam Elliott or something and be that, like, or the Miller Time guy, whatever those old Miller Time commercials were. That would be fun just because they pay really, really well. If you're the voice of a brand like that, you can make like almost $1 million a year.
Oh, wow.
Because they run so many commercials and each one gets like usage and whatever. So that would be great just from like a I don't have to worry about money ever again kind of thing. And who doesn't, you know, just like that dude, the Sam Elliott, the Coors, the Banquet beer.
Yeah,
you would be good for it. You got the voice for it.
Yeah, that's great.
All right, what about like a famous superhero? If you could pick any superhero to be the voice of, who would it be? Let's go more direct. Let's go to Marvel, because Marvel's one of my favorites.
Marvel specific.
Yeah, because Disney's diving really deep into the animation side. So they're coming out with X-Men 97, What If Season 2. They're expanding to other different cartoons or animation style projects. So if you was to land a role, what role would you try to land?
I think, I don't know if being any of those, like, so full disclosure, I didn't really grow up being superheroes, but I think the one that I would be most appropriate for, I could crush a good Bruce Banner Hulk. I
can see you. I can see that.
I can totally see that. Yeah, I can definitely see that.
Someday, maybe. Iron Man. I think I could do a great Tony Stark. I'm kind of witty, maybe.
That's cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I think really it would be one of the really deep cut ones that nobody cares about that like I book and then I do a really good job with, and now he's a fan favorite. Like that would be really gratifying.
Yeah, that's that dope part. My last question for you: we know you're a voice actor. Got a little backstory on you. What do you like doing for hobbies, things like that? Are you a gamer? Are you into games?
Yeah.
Like, let us know a little about yourself.
I used to be just a like morning till night gamer, but oddly enough, working in video games kind of ruins that for you, because now if I also like animation, if I'm watching a new show or something, I'm always like, my brain is like, man, that's not the read I would have chosen for that line, or like, they could have implemented that mechanic a little more pristinely, So I'm just like always the immersion is broken because I'm focused on the performances. I love to read. I don't read as much as I used to, but I do love reading. I still play some games. This game Deep Rock Galactic is the one I've been playing the most lately. It's super fun. It's like Minecraft plus Left 4 Dead. It's great. I like PvE co-op where you can play with your friends, and but I've played a couple other kind of party games lately with my wife and some friends. There's a game called Witch It and a game called Ultimate Chicken Horse. They're just kind of silly and fun. I still play my drums. I got to get back to the gym. I used to be just shredded, but the pandemic, I've lost all my muscle mass just sitting here like wasting away in my studio. I like collecting things a whole lot. I love antiques. I've got my, well, you can't see it because the door's closed. Anyway, I've got like almost a little museum in this room back here of just cool old books and interesting little tchotchkes that I've picked up here and there at estate sales and antique stores. And I love collecting rocks and minerals too. And so Nevada, outside of Vegas, has got lots of really cool places that you can go dig up fossils and find cool rocks and stuff. So every now and then, if I'm free, I'll try to take Courtney and we'll go out there and like dig up trilobites and stuff, and it's pretty fun.
That's dope. Well, thank you so much for tuning in with us today, and thank you for the interview. It was a pleasure meeting you. I can't wait to see what you do with Kawaki in the dub version. I'm definitely gonna rewatch it because don't get mad at me, everybody, but I love my dub. I'm not even gonna lie. For some reason, I know some people be like, "Yo, bro, you
canceled."
Like
all the sub people,
yeah. Like they're a little too hardcore with it, man. I honestly like both.
You don't even speak Japanese. You can't even tell whether it's a good performance or not.
Yeah, so I do like the.
That's gonna make me some enemies, I promise. But no, they're both great. Watch both.
Yeah, I think that's what
I think honestly the best dubbed ever, literally, is probably Samurai Champloo. If you've ever watched it, it's so probably the best dubbed.
Absolutely
ever.
Love it. Absolutely love it. I think
Steve Full Metal Alchemist. I've never watched it in subbed. I was like, this is it. I thought this was an American-made anime, but no, it's Japanese.
Also, I don't know, it's a classic one, but Cowboy Bebop as well.
Yes, I mean Samurai Champloo was
definitely
made by Cowboy Bebop, so it makes sense.
Outlaw Star, incredible.
Yeah,
yes,
dude. There's so many good dubs. I know everybody will like poke and like, here's you got this one and this one and this one that are all terrible, and it's like for every one terrible dub that you show me, I can show you another one that is iconic and for good reason. Like they both have their places, and just watch both of them. Chill out.
Boruto's next. It's going to be the next iconic dubbed.
Boruto's definitely
right
here
with Michael.
And hopefully they get, they give us some great content coming up. But that's it for our show. If you enjoyed the interview, please give us a like, comment below, and also all links will be in the description below. Michael Swalby, where can they find you at? And let them know what type of projects you got coming out or what they can look out for.
Sure. You can find me on Twitter at WhatHeSaidVO. That was my old handle. Some other jerk took Michael Schwalbe's Twitter handle. He's some doctor or something. What a jerk. Anyway, then over on Twitch and TikTok, which I'm not super active, but if you just want the full Michael Schwalbe experience, over there I am Michael Schwalbe. It's SCHWALBE. Over on Instagram, which I never ever use, it's actor Michael Schwalbe. And what can I actually talk about? I've got a couple no, those are both non-disclosure. You just have to watch my Twitter. I'll tell you what's coming out.
Yeah, just follow the Twitter, man. He's really active on there. Get into the mind of Mr. Michael Swalbe. Thank y'all so much. Once again, drop a like on the video. All links, once again, will be in the description below. And we are the voice of the heroes. Thank y'all so much.
Voice of the hero, voice of the hero, voice of the hero.